7 countries figured out something most governments refuse to admit. You don't need massive bureaucracy to protect freedom. From abolished armies to recallable monarchs to zero income tax, these places prove that less government intervention can mean more personal liberty. Let's start with Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein has the world's most unusual constitutional setup. Article 113 gives citizens the power to abolish the monarchy through referendum at any time. Think about that. The prince stays in power only because people let him. And this isn't just theoretical. In 2024, voters defunded the national radio station through referendum. It shut down 5 months later. That's real democracy with actual consequences. Additionally, personal income tax maxes out at 22.4%. Corporate tax sits at 12.5%. Liechtenstein is also well known for its sophisticated wealth planning policy through Anstalt entities and Stiftung foundations that you can't get anywhere else in Europe. Well, maybe Switzerland. And their banking privacy is still robust, even with modern reporting standards. You need substantial resources to get in through their independent means visa, but once you're there, you're arguably in one of the freest places on earth, and certainly in Europe. Monaco eliminated personal income tax in 1869. That's 156 years of zero tax on salaries, dividends, interest, capital gains, or director fees. Also, no wealth tax, inheritance tax, or property tax. The principality is tiny, but the privacy protections are massive. Banks have enhanced data protection that limits what they have to disclose domestically. Now, cryptocurrency holders pay zero capital gains tax on digital assets. The catch? You need roughly 500,000 euros in bank deposits and adequate housing to get your carte de séjour residency here. But for that investment, you get world-class privacy in a 2 square kilometer territory where the state mostly leaves you alone. If you're curious to dive deeper into these countries and see the full breakdown of residency requirements, costs, and timelines, check out IMI's program pages where we track more than 200 tax, residency, and citizenship programs with specialists who can help you apply. Now, Paraguay offers freedom through absence rather than design. The government doesn't intervene much because it often doesn't have the capacity to do so. Zero tax on foreign earnings, and even if you do earn locally, only 8 to 10% tax on Paraguay source income. But here's the real advantage. Paraguay doesn't participate in the common reporting standard. That means Paraguayan banks don't automatically report your account and transaction information to foreign tax authorities like almost every other country does. Cryptocurrency miners love it here because electricity costs just $22 per megawatt hour from hydroelectric power. Also, local banks actually accept crypto transactions, which is rare. You can get immediate permanent residency by founding a company with 70,000 US dollars in capital, and there's no physical presence requirements to maintain it. But the independent means visa in Paraguay is likely the world's easiest residency program as well. Panama's approach is straightforward. They don't tax foreign sourced income, period. Dividends, interest, royalties, capital gains from foreign sources, all exempt from local taxes. The Panama Canal brings in about $2.5 billion annually. So the government doesn't need to squeeze residents for revenue. This is a great model. Panama foundations offer better asset protection than most common law alternatives. The country survived the Panama Papers scrutiny by maintaining clear legal boundaries and enhanced compliance. Plus, Panama has a wide array of residency programs, from the rentista and pensionado programs that just require proof of income to the friendly nations and qualified investor visa programs, which require a $200,000 and $300,000 investment in the country, respectively. And the president is starting to naturalize citizens again after a few years of negligence. In 1949, Costa Rica made a radical choice. They abolished their military permanently through Article 12 of the Constitution. Now, without a standing army, political power can't concentrate in a security apparatus. Rather, that money goes to education, healthcare, and environmental protection instead. And the result? Long-standing democratic stability and robust civil freedoms that most Latin American countries cannot match. They use territorial taxation, so foreign income is not taxed, and cryptocurrency is treated under existing business laws with minimal interference. You can get the investor visa with an 150,000 US dollar investment, the rentista visa with $2,500 of monthly income, or the pensionado visa with $1,000 in monthly pension income. If you're serious about alternative residence or citizenship, subscribe to IMI's newsletter. We break down program changes, regulatory shifts, and market intel that most investors and high net worth individuals miss. Uruguay doesn't have flashy constitutional innovations. Their radicalism comes from reliability. They maintained democratic institutions through regional upheavals, economic crises, and political transitions that destabilized their Latin American neighbors. In 2024, they passed Law 2345, giving them arguably the best cryptocurrency regulation framework in Latin America. The territorial taxation system provides an 11-year foreign earned income exemption for new residents, or a permanent 7% flat tax rate option for life. Show $1,500 in monthly stable income, and you can get immediate permanent residency here in Uruguay. Married couples qualify for citizenship after just 3 years of residency, while single applicants wait 5 years. You would think you would pay for this institutional order and stability through higher taxes than other frontier jurisdictions, but you get vastly superior legal certainty in return and lower taxes. And last note on Uruguay, if you're wondering about gun rights somewhere in this list, Uruguay may be your best bet for owning a firearm. St. Kitts and Nevis pioneered citizenship by investment in 1984. They turned sovereignty into a transaction. You bring capital, they give you citizenship, and leave you alone for the most part. The process takes about 6 months through either a 250,000 US dollar contribution or a 400,000 US dollar real estate investment. Zero personal income tax, zero capital gains tax, zero inheritance tax, zero wealth tax, tax-free corporate structures on foreign income. Wealth and asset protection here is world-renowned through Nevis trust structures as well. This is the most streamlined path to sovereign status for anyone with the means. So what's the pattern here? Here's what these 7 countries prove. Freedom doesn't require massive bureaucracy. Instead, it requires limiting state power, whether through abolished armies, robust gun rights, recallable monarchs, constitutionally protected privacy policies, or territorial taxation. They demonstrate that sovereignty and individual liberty can absolutely coexist. The Americas have more of these setups because colonial legacies create distrust of centralized authority. Smaller populations and resource-driven economies forced governments to favor individual initiative over bureaucratic oversight. Liberty has become an economic model as much as a political one. So the question isn't whether this level of personal liberty is possible. The question is, why don't more countries do it?